Yeah, here at the CIRES Policy Center, we do research, we do outreach, and we do education. We see a lot of our work at sitting kind of at the so-called boundary between scientific research and political decision making. One of the things we try to do is to clarify or expand the scope of options for decision makers. We don't tell decision makers what to do, but we tell them that if they want to achieve a particular goal, there's a number of different ways they might achieve that are consistent with the science. Science never dictates political outcomes, but it sure does come in handy to inform those outcomes. One important factor to recognize is that politics is political and that people make decisions based on all sorts of reasons, and often science is a small or insignificant reason for how people make decisions. And this is why it's so important to craft alternative policies that consider science but also consider everything else that people care about. And if you were to take a look at opinion polls over the last 20 years, if not longer, the issues that repeatedly come up at the top are the economy, jobs, crime, education, national security, and these are probably going to be the things that are important in the future. So when we design policies for an issue like climate change, they have to be consistent with people's expressed values. These are the things they care about. In my view, working here at the center, policymakers have a pretty good understanding of the risks of climate change and the fact that it's an issue that may demand some sort of response. Where policymakers have difficulties is that they lack viable, politically acceptable, economically realistic policy options to do something about. And one of the frustrations that I see in the scientific community is often that they express scientific concern and don't believe policymakers are acting with the proper motivation or incentives to respond. But what's missed there is this middle part, which is the policy picture, is that you can't ask policymakers to do the impossible. You have to help them come up with policy options that meet a wide range of needs, including scientific but also political. I think CIRES is unique because we have one of the leading policy research arms at any university, nationally or internationally, focused on science and technology policy. And here at the Policy Center, we do a lot of research that is aimed at better connecting science with the needs of decision makers on important topics that people are focused on every day. We're not a non-governmental organization. We don't go advocate for particular policies, but we try to make sure that science is well used and decisions are well informed by this wonderful scientific enterprise that we have.